good morning to you. Good morning. Welcome to a daily dose of joy. We are here in solidarity to pause and rest and play with little microdosing tools, little games to optimize the positive neurotransmitters in our brain and align us with clarity and joy and vibrancy. Today, we are going to use the Woopsie Daisy tool. This is a rock star tool to help us laugh at the inevitable wobbles in life, whether they are our own wobbly bits or pratfalls or really actually challenging situations. We have the capacity to shift our filter and find the humor in it. So, today's theme is going to be Woopsie Daisy Stories on an airplane. I was talking to my friend Astra Rebecca, and oh my gosh, Astra just had the funniest Woopsie Daisy. So she was on a very long flight. There had been cancellations and layovers. And so it's like late and she's tired and she gets onto the airplane and after they take off, puts down the tray and she's like, okay, just gonna snuggle in, just have a good sleep. It's rock star, she can sleep anywhere. She's like, okay. And she goes into this deep sleep. And then she starts kind of imagining, she was like imagining cuddling. She's imagining cuddling. And she's imagining like stroking her partner's hand and holding her partner's hand. And then she starts like caressing this hair and realizes the hair is too long and kind of slightly opens her eyes and realizes it's long gray hair. And she's like, whoopsie daisy, pops up and it's like, I am so sorry. She admitted she's like, I was full on cuddling, like cuddling, cooing, caressing. Her partner was not even on this flight with her. And she was all into the cuddles, fully cuddling. And this sweet woman that she had been cuddling was like, oh, that's all right, honey. Just think of me as your grandma. And it was so sweet. Like, everything works out. When we talk about a whoopsie daisy, holding hands, like not just like leaning on the person next to you in an airplane, but holding their hand, stroking their arm, petting their hair. Whoopsie daisy. I'm just gonna keep that one in our back pockets as a, you know, go, you be you, you do you, and we just aren't going to be embarrassed. Like, just not going to let that. And boy, she is loving the Woopsie Daisy story is just awesome. And then when she told it, of course, then, you know, your mind, it's always like popcorn with Woopsie Daisy. One person tells one, all of a sudden you're like, you think you don't have a Woopsie Daisy story to tell. And you're like, oh, yeah, there was that time on the airplane. And so my Woopsie Daisy on an airplane was, I was about 14 and it was my first transatlantic flight. First time I'd ever probably flown out of the United States, maybe Canada and Mexico, but could have been. And so flying to England and it's like, there's friends, it's a group of us on this flight. And I am in the middle row in the middle seat. And I was an active youngin', you know, I was a runner and I had a Toblerone, very large Toblerone as you're taking off. And I'm in that middle seat and I've gotten up at least twice to like walk and see my friends and move around because this flight is hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And so this time I'm like, well, you know, I don't want to be rude and scooch past everybody again. And I'm like, but I really have got to stretch my legs. I just got to move around. So I thought that it would be a good idea to like tuck and roll and do a handstand in my seat, in the middle seat, in the middle section of a jumbo plane crossing the Atlantic. I really somehow thought at 14, this was an appropriate thing to do. And I even remember like, oh, I'll keep my socks on. I won't do this. Oh no, I'll take my shoes off because that'd be rude to be putting shoes up on the bulkhead of the plane. But my little pink socks, well, that's fine. Flip up the little pink socks. And then I'm like stretching. I'm like doing leg motions. And I'm like, oh, this is so good because it's above all the heads of the people that are sitting there. So I'm not in their way. And I'm like little jazz dance moves with my feet. What was I thinking? And from my memory, I don't have any memory of anyone saying anything or the stewardess coming by and saying like, tuck and roll back into your seat, little girl. I mean, nothing. I just remember like, oh, that was great. Like just what I needed. All I can guess is like imagining people in the back of the plane seeing me little feet. And you know, at 14, I was almost full grown. I wasn't that little. It wasn't like they're like, there's a child, you know. Whoopsie daisy. Oh. But bringing back that whoopsie daisy gave me so much more compassion for my 14-year-old son. You made me look like a small adult, but all the wires aren't hooked up yet. In the judgment department, if my own 14-year-old story is anything to go by. Oh my, oh my. And you wouldn't believe, I really was not some unruly child. I had great manners. I was well appreciated at social events by adults. Like this was an unusual airplane whoopsie daisy. Whoopsie daisy. Oh. So next time you're on an airplane, which for me are definitely my happy place. I'm like, I'm traveling, I'm going somewhere. But you know, there are those moments where you're a bit cramped and you've been sitting there a long time and just try and find the funny in it. Ooh, because it feels so good to find the whoopsie daisy. So thank you for pausing and playing in Whoopsie Daisy Land with me. May that inspire you to find your own Whoopsie Daisy stories and then find a friend or a family member and share the tale. Engage that hippocampus, pull out those memories and find the humor. Start flexing your funny muscles. They feel really good. And let's take 3 gentle breaths in solidarity and celebration that we stepped into a new habit, new way of being in life, where we pause for play and rest and dosing our brain. Thank you for joining me. This time is precious to me every day. I look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow. May today surprise and delight.